Hello and good evening to the very first Sir John Laws Media and Film Studies Oscars. I'm Mrs Smythe.
And I'm Mr Bruce. The purpose of this event is to celebrate our student work despite the last very challenging year.
During the 2020-2021 academic year, we had over 300 students study media and film studies from Year 9, GCSE, A-level and BTEC courses. Despite the circumstances, our students have achieved some fantastic outcomes that we want to share with you this evening. We want to say well done to all of the shortlisted nominees this evening and wish you all the very best of luck in your categories. The order of the evening will go in key stage order, starting with the best Year 9 work.
The Year 9 offer this last year changed significantly, combining both media and film studies together. Students learnt about semiotics, genre, representation, audience, narrative and even ideologies. This meant that their studies would deepen and scrutinise media and film texts in even more detail than they've ever been done before. Students were afforded access to studying, planning, creating and editing a wide range of media, including making adverts, producing lifestyle magazine front covers, shooting and editing a short film, and much more besides. In this category, the creativity and commitment was simply amazing.
So, without further ado, here are the nominees for Best Year 9 Print Artefact. Kaylee Keep with her film poster, Sam Gooseman with the Mission Impossible poster, Josh Brown with the video game cover, and Sam Grover with the Cadbury's advert. And the winner is Kaylee Keep.
Next is the category for Best Written Analysis Work based on the film Skyfall. Written analysis is a really important part of media and film studies. It's not just all about running around with cameras. And so the nominees are Joshua Brown.
In my scene, the opening is very dark and black with trees, with no leaves, which signifies a fight or someone dying. The target is always in the distance with Bond closer to the camera. This shows Bond is trying to follow him. When the target goes into a skyscraper, he automatically kills someone. This shows he is a ruthless murderer who doesn't care who he kills, only that he gets his job done. Bond is following the man. This shows he's on a mission to get information and not to kill him, otherwise Bond would already have done so.
Dylan Knott.
At the start of the scene I am analysing, in a courtroom, everyone is wearing black suits, possibly showing how serious the matter is, or maybe foreshadowing the death that is to come. The judge says, "We are gathered today to discuss important issues regarding the future of the security in our country." It then cuts to Silver, stretching, foreshadowing his escape, and his facial expressions showing his happiness. The quote the judge said foreshadows his escape, especially the cut to Silver after she said security.
Holly Hall.
The scene I have chosen is when Bond has just arrived in Shanghai and is hiding in an empty building about to have a fight with an enemy. There is low-key lighting which is blue, casting black shadows on his face. It turns into a silhouette as the fight starts, giving a full body view. The characters are not in one position as there is a lot of movement going on, especially as they fight. Non-verbal communication is shown through the physical fight, giving a message that there is conflict and hatred between the two characters.
And Alice Leal.
When Em starts to give her speech, she is placed right in the centre of the frame in a mid-shot, suggesting that the audience should give her their full attention. As she talks and it cuts to Silver entering the building with non-diegetic sound of Em continuing her speech, he shoots everyone in his way, which suggests that she lives a very dangerous lifestyle as her life is in danger in the most unlikely time and place.
And the winner is Joshua Brown, scoring 36 out of 40. Very well done, Joshua.
Our Year 9 cohort have also had the opportunity to produce some audio-visual work where students film and edit their own media products. They were in groups, given a script to film, but edited individually. It was a really worthwhile experience for them. And the nominees are, for Best Year 9 Audio-Visual Text, Harriet Norris,
The Conqueror from a Winston Churchill and
Seriously, listen to this.
Tom Hogston,
Answer the questions in your book.
Sir, you know the questions.
and Louise Scott.
Don't know where it goes, but it's only me and I walk alone.
And the winner is Tom Hogston. You truly showed us some excellent editing skills. Now let's have a look at the winning film.
You want to do what? Are you raving mad? I've got to find out what's going on. I don't care if I get into trouble. Won't your parents ground you for like 20 years? Maybe. You'll never come out of your room till you're like really old. Oh, whatever. You're like really old, like 34. Oh, shut up, will you? Anyway, who says I can't get the information I need? You proper doubt me all the time. When you got in trouble with that Mr. Bogey Hayes, you didn't get in trouble, I did. That's what best friends are for. Did you see who that was? I thought he'd been permanently excluded. Oh, duh, obviously not. Shh, keep your tonsils in your gob, he'll hear you. Yeah, that's the last thing I want him to know, is that we're talking about him. Can you imagine the ego trip if he knew we were talking about him? Right, it's time to get things sorted. Oh my god, who cares? You've got to learn it, otherwise we'll be put in set 24 next year with all the other thickies like Jake Davis. Oh, the one in year 7 who can't even remember his date of birth? Yeah, him. Look, it's easy. Divorced, beheaded and died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. Henry VIII and 6 other wives, some may say I ruined their lives. I mean, really? Like, why do we learn this history stuff? It's all about dead people and wars. What's the point? You need to know your Battle of Hastings from your Warren Cleethorpes and your Henry XVIII from your Queen Lizzie XII. It's simple. It is a waste of time. Don't you find anything from the past interesting? No. I mean, you've got to know your William the Conqueror from your Winston Churchill and your... Seriously? Shh, listen to this. What? You won't believe what I'm reading. Right, slowly. Read. What's going on? What does the headline say? It says there's a group of teenagers that have been kidnapped one by one, but the police are not saying where this is happening. I think there's something funny going on here, and I reckon I know who's behind this.
And so, class, that's why The Return is a really good TV drama to study, because it's got a narrative that actually looks at things like children disappearing. Oh, nice of you to make it. What happened? Did aliens abduct your family? Did the cat eat your homework? Anyway, now we're all here. Turn to page 66 and answer the questions in your book.
Sir, you know the questions. Where's Mr. Ellis? I don't know. He was here a second ago. He must just popped out to get something. You see his question here on genre. How does the... Where is everyone? Where have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere. Why are you in here? You never come in here. You said the food in here is worse than anything you'd serve an animal. Hello? Was this something I've said? Something I've done?
Before we move on to the GCSE Awards, we just want to really reiterate how proud we are of our Year 9 students, their work, resilience and their achievements in this last academic year.
At GCSE, students have the opportunity to study film studies or media studies, and again, the quality of work that we have received has been second to none. Many students overcame the technical barriers, still producing some very high quality print and audio visual work.
Firstly, we're going to look at the best print work produced in GCSE Media Studies, where students had to produce a film poster and DVD cover for a new thriller film using original photography and constructed using Photoshop. And the nominees are, for Best GCSE Print Work, Toby Sale for Compulsive, Freddie Brooks for Error, Clara Berry for Shattered, Charlie Barraclough for Claw of Blood, and Greg Graham for The Last One. And the winner is Freddie Brooks with Error.
Our GCSE media students have also had the opportunity to create their own sequences from a TV drama, lasting up to 2 minutes in length, using their own original footage and edited together while also considering music and sound. So the nominees for Best Media Studies Audiovisual Extract are Katie Burrows.
Trust me.
Why the hell should I trust you?
Because I'm your father.
Tom Valich. Tegan Hancocks.
We've looked everywhere.
Holly Norman, and Holly Townsley.
I'm 16 years old now. I can do what I want. You don't need to protect me. I don't need help. I am fine.
I'm sorry.
Look, I'm just going to go out. I need to clear my head.
And the winner is Tom Vallick. Let's have a preview of his TV drama.
Jason, get back! It's dead!
Dad, I'm gonna go out.
Are you sure? It's been pretty dangerous out there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Look at you, all those lives you've taken. You really think I'm scared of you? Bro, relax. Shut up, man. You ran down my mans. I heard you tried to run down Jason earlier. I'm not letting you get away with that again.
Bro, just chill.
Separate from the course, some students made documentaries during lockdown on various topics from VE Day, about their pets or aviation. It was a great opportunity for students to get to grips with production techniques and understand the production process. Again, the quality of work was excellent and our students really demonstrated adaptability. The nominees in this category are for Best GCSE Lockdown Documentary and Non-Fiction Extract, Abby Brooks for Jim the Cat.
And then we ended up with the cat because he seemed like least trouble or less trouble than a dog.
Freddie Brooks, The Life of Willow.
Can't have a Brooks family without a dog. In fact, to be the Brooks family, you've got to have two.
Harry Hill, Living with Pets.
She can roll over and she can do the paw.
Holly Norman for VE Day.
Friday the 8th of May was supposed to see national celebrations including parades and live events celebrating VE Day. But due to coronavirus, that changed and people started to get creative.
Luca Pym, History of Harpenden.
So where shall we begin? Well, it's only appropriate to begin where it all started. The oldest signs of human life in this area are to be found in the Lee Valley, with the defensive fortification of Devil's Dyke.
Holly Townsley, Letter to My Quarantine Self.
By the time you're reading this, you've come out of quarantine a little more knowledgeable, a little more confident.
And Tom Vallick for Aviation.
Now, although we're just 5 months into 2020, this year has been the worst year on record for aviation. We've seen airlines collapse and go into administration, thousands of people left unemployed, and our skies left emptier than ever before.
And the winner is Holly Norman for VE Day. Here's a short clip.
And Admiral Dönitz, the designated head of the German state, signed the Act of Unconditional Surrender.
Okay, Grandad, so how old were you in 1945, VE Day?
13.
And where were you living?
Living at home in Burnt Oak.
Which part of London is that?
That's northwest London. It's on just outside the London boundary.
So what do you remember about VE Day?
Not a great deal, actually. It's not one of those things I can remember. There were celebrations in the road, but it's not like some of the pictures you've seen from other areas. We knew the neighbours to speak to, possibly half a dozen or so each side of us and across the road from us, but going further up the road or down the road, you might have some idea what people are called, but you didn't really social or meet with them to speak to. You know, it was only the neighbours, near neighbours, about half a dozen each side who you might chat to. But even then, most of the time you knew them as by their surnames, never by their Christian names. So not quite so informal. The strange thing was, within the 4 or 5 houses, there were 6 of us boys, all 13 or 14-year-olds, but there were no girls. So I think, I remember standing in the road and talking to some of the neighbours, but that's really my full memory of it. Each year we went down to the bottom of our drive, and all the neighbours came down to the bottom of their drives. We had little tables out and chairs, and we sat in our little groups, family groups, and we brought food out and our own bottle of wine out, and that went on for about, I think we got out there at 5 o'clock and came in about 7:30.
So do you remember 1946 VE Day better then?
Yes, I do actually, because there's big celebrations again all over the country, and big parties everywhere. And I was 14 then, and I'm never sure whether my parents knew or not, but a friend and I actually escaped to Trafalgar Square for the afternoon.
It's incredible to see the difference in celebrations we were having in 1945 to the celebrations we were having today in 2020. From gatherings and street parties to social distancing parties in our front gardens.
Much of the work has been of a high quality and has been entered into the Educast Moving Image Awards, where we hope to be shortlisted again like last year.
Now it's time to turn our attention to recognise our GCSE Film Studies students for their non-exam assessed work. Students have the option of writing a screenplay or directing, filming and editing their own film sequence, working in a genre of their choice. Firstly, we are awarding the best screenplay. Over to the drama faculty for some of the readings.
Interior, church, funeral service, 11 a.m. The bells chime throughout the air. William and Julie are inside the church, standing in the front pew. The service is well attending, reiterated the love and respect this man had for his neighbours, community and family. Everyone is dressed in dark clothes and many people are weeping, with some even crying audibly. William starts to break, his head falling into his mother's shoulder. Julie hugs her son back, and as soon as she lifts her head, the coffin, containing Christopher's body, is walked through the 4 family members holding it aloft. Many family members rush to comfort William and his mother. Peter approaches William and places his hand on William's arm. He says nothing but his care and resoundingly obvious. Fade to black 2.
Abandoned Bramble Boys Camp. Day.
Caden crawls over the edge of the cliff overlooking the camp of the Bramble Boys, now abandoned, binoculars in hand. Without trying to make any sudden movements, he looks through his binoculars to see nothing but a few empty barrels and a shredded tent until two men stroll through the dusty orange cliffs into the camp. One of the men is very skinny and short, wearing denim overalls and worn-out floppy top hat. The other man is tall and burly, also wearing denim overalls, but is wearing no hat at all. The two men seem to be talking, but Caden cannot hear. Caden reaches for his rifle but decides to go against shooting the men. Instead, he takes a more civil approach and goes to talk to the men. Once the men take notice of Caden, they become very defensive, placing their hand on their guns.
What a week. Can I help Those trenches will be the death of me one day. I swear to you. 1 minute, you're bandaging up your foot, and after being on fire, and the next, you're frantically struggling to put on your gas mask as your lungs fill up with stuff choking you to death.
It's quite lethal if I do say so myself. I was considering leaving. It's too much for me. Hearing the desperate cries of the vulnerable as they shout in agonising pain only makes me want to leave more. Otherwise, that might be me one day.
Attention, Frederick and Henrik, report to base immediately.
What do you think he wants?
I don't know, but we should go and find out.
And the winner is Eddie Noble. Congratulations. Our next award is for Best GCSE Film Studies Extract or Short Film. There was a high calibre of entries this year, including Finley Brown for Point Blank, Morgan Brown for Bruised, Leah Fullerton Turner for A Message to Post, Toby Jarvis for Mysterious, Jake Mayerson for Break In, Tom Morgan for Alone, Bluebell Muir, End of Days, Roel Shepherd for Thief, and Ben Stainer for Stalker. Many entries scored full marks, so it really was tough to decide on a winner. But the winner is Leah Fullerton Turner for A Message to Post. Let's have a watch.
Faith, can you send Corporal? Got urgent paperwork, need to get headquarters. Over. Successful delivery. Stand down. Over.
Next is the Best GCSE Film Studies Extract Short Film for Best Editing. Again, many high entries. And the winner is Finley Brown with Point Blank.
On to our A-Level awards now. At A-Level, students are really challenged and are put through their paces, whereby they have to create a cross-media production consisting of 2 linked productions. This year our students decided to make a sequence from a TV drama along with an accompanying website. We're hoping that some of our ex-Year 13 students are joining us this evening, perhaps from their new university digs. So the nominees for Best A-Level Cross-Media Production are Tamelo Banda for Levi, Leah Domingo for Selfish, Emily O'Hara for Rattling Cage.
Earlier this evening, fighting broke out after curfew across the country. Citizens of the United Kingdom are rebelling against the devolved government. Police and the armed forces have been deployed, however the violence has persisted.
Ollie O'Sullivan for Snatched.
Hello? Yeah. She's getting in now.
And Grace Thorpe for Ida Holmes. And the winner is Emily O'Hara with her work entitled Rattling Cage, and here is her sequence.
Mum looks awful these days. Look at her, all frail.
I know. She's like a ghost in there, hunched up with all the lights out.
Bloody electricity prices just keep going up and up.
Honestly, what the world's become. There was the riots, species dying out, pollution, climate change, inequality, and the government controlling us with the curfews and everything. It's not fair. Our rights have been taken away from us, and there's nothing we can do about it.
What was...
Look at this.
Babe, now is not the time. You're wasting battery.
It's happening everywhere.
Earlier this evening, fighting broke out after curfew across the country. Citizens of the United Kingdom are rebelling against the devolved government. Police and armed forces have been deployed, however the violence has persisted. The crowds can no longer be controlled and outnumber the authorities. Therefore, this evening, it has just been announced that the nation, the United Kingdom, is in a state of civil war. I repeat, tonight a civil war has begun. Anyone out after the curfew and acting against the authorities will not be arrested, instead you will be shot on sight. This will come into immediate effect.
Oh my god.
It was always going to happen. If it didn't happen, then nothing would change.
But...
What do we do now?
Where's Carla gone?
Carla! Carla!
Last but by no means least, we move on to our best BTEC creative digital media production work. It's been a very disrupted year, but our extended diploma and extended certificate students really adapted and worked very economically where time was concerned. Many of the film fiction productions were only filmed in 2 days before COVID restrictions were tightened in November. The best BTEC crime film extracts are as follows. Swizz by Toby Howe, Nathan Omoregby and Morgan Whiting.
Knock knock. Who's there? Here's Swanee. This is Tyler Hiss. Agile, cunning.
Corrupt by Alex Lever, Sam Norris, Kiefer McElhinney and Tom Jones.
Well, it was last seen by PC George at 11:24 PM yesterday. There isn't much evidence to go on, but we've left everything as it is for you to investigate.
That's the sound of the That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
And The Suspect by Sophie Jones, Anna Halliday, Charlie Souter and Eddie Selman.
3 suspects, same murder. 25-year-old Catherine Rhodes was found dead in her home on the 1st of October. Each suspect has their own reasons.
And what would that be?
And the winner is Swizz. Well done to Toby, Nathan and Morgan, and here is a short clip. I've got to make this quick, so you've got to pay immense attention. Benedict is back to his old tricks, and we're experiencing an import of illegal materials from Russia, but this time sources have identified that there may be more to it than we know. You may know that we've dealt with his actions before, but thanks to his last contribution, our agents are exposed.
What do you propose we do?
Well, we have ex-convicts within our walls months away from the end of their sentence. They can be put to good use. Find them on floor 3.
I'll be right on it.
Couldn't keep us down for too long, could ya? We've been told we need to bust Benny and his lads. Guess I should show some courtesy and introduce myself and the fellas.
I'm f***ing warning you.
My name's Peter Swan, but the lads call me Swanee. Knock knock, who's there? Here's Swanee. This is Tyler Hiss, agile, cunning and one slippery. Here's a bit of maths for you. There's 16 Russians in a room and one Tyler Hiss. How many Ruskies survive? Best believe none of them. And lastly, Sebastian Aston, the most polite and best driver you've seen.
Finally, a getaway car.
He does like to get his hands dirty though, if you know what I mean.
Is that it?
No chicken crosses the road when he's driving. So, that's that then. Let me catch you up a bit. We got told we need to crack where Benedict is importing his gear. Fortunately for us, we know a guy who knows all things to do with Benedict. Sounds great, right? Well, unfortunately for us, he hates us with a passion. Meet Tom Park. So, on our journeys, we came across some trouble, so we took it upon ourselves to sort it. However, we did get a bit too into it. Once we got past that, we were there and we were ready to rumble.
We've made it, lads. This is it.
Just for their cages, didn't I?
Brought the guns? Of course. Come here.
Boss, people approaching the south block. Send back up ASAP.
Sorry to disturb you on this fine morning, but
You get that one, I'll get this one.
Okay, boss, go.
To dance, lads.
Don't know if you can tell, but we love to rumble.
Without sound, yeah, you're calling me, and I don't think it's very fair that your shoulders are frozen. Oh, but you're an explosion. Your name's unreal, but I don't care for sign. The lights in the fuse might result in a bang, 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 go. I bet that you look good on the dance floor. I don't know if you're looking for romance, so I don't know what you're looking for.
So that concludes the Sir John Laws Oscars ceremony for the academic year 2020 to 2021. Despite the circumstances, in true SJL style, our students have shown resilience, determination and adaptability. We want to say thank you for being excellent and for producing such a high standard of work.
We also want to congratulate those of you who are continuing your studies at Key Stage 4, 5 and even at degree level.
We'll be celebrating some of our students' achievements again in December with the school's award ceremony. So a special well done to those students.
That draws the evening to a close. Thank you very much for joining us and good night.
Good night.